Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmut, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Storm of Swords, chapters 61 and 62, Sansa and Jaime. In these chapters, Sansa flees King's Landing, and Jaime returns to King's Landing. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. So, Harmut, before I forget, who died in these chapters?
Dantos.
Yeah.
Joffrey's death was confirmed.
Yeah.
Vargo's, very close to death, supposedly.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember.
I think that is everything.
Okay, question. / clarification.
Yeah.
So the dude who wrote... Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know.
You're looking
I'm
at
like,
me...
you have a question or clarification? Like, what could it be about?
Oh, okay. Nev was giving me this look that was very much like, I know what you're about to ask and I'm excited, and I was very confused. I was like, why is your face doing that?
I'm like, in my brain, I'm thinking, like, what could require clarification?
Okay, so...
And whether I need to, like, prepare a poker face.
Oh, okay. See, there's the real answer. Because there was a little bit of mischievousness that I was sensing.
Fine.
Okay, so, the dude that rowed the boat, which we will get into after, but, homie got onto the bigger galley, right? So he didn't die on the boat?
No.
Because he got on.
Yes, yeah, he got on.
Okay, cool. Okay, so he's not part of the deaths. Okay, then that's all the deaths, I think.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I was like... I thought you were going to be like, what does Littlefinger want? Or something like that kind of clarification.
No.
And I was going to be like,
clarification related to the death count.
Okay. What did you think of these chapters?
They were good. I liked them.
Yeah,
it was
these were
nice.
Good chapters.
It was nice to get, spicy drama without, a Stark having to die. You know? So it was kind of fun. I liked it. I liked the drama and what's gonna happen, because both chapters were equally exciting. There was stuff going on, so
things
nice.
Happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to summarize?
I don't
3,
want to, but
2, 1, go.
Okay, Belle's, Sansa's so confused. She's getting ready to escape with Dantos. She goes to the Godswood. Dantos meets her there, is drunk. She has to climb down the cliff wall. She's like, scared. Goes, and turns out Littlefinger paid Dantos. They go on the little boat, and they get to the galley where Littlefinger's waiting, and he reveals his master plan, kind of. And then she's basically now with Littlefinger, and he kills Dantos instead of paying him. Jaime. Okay, so Jaime is very close to King's Landing, and he's hearing about all the updates, which we already have, get with the program, dude. And then he finally gets to King's Landing, and, he has to convince everyone at every turn that it's him, and be like, hey, it's... And they're all like, oh my god, you know? And then, he, goes and has sex with Cersei in front of Joffrey, basically, in front of a dead Joffrey, and basically at church, and then he goes and talks to his dad, and he is no longer a Lannister, kind of.
Oh, yeah. By the way, that's, way over a minute. I totally lost track of them. That was, 10 seconds over. Sorry.
That's okay.
Or, spaced out. I'm thinking about...
You weren't listening to my beautiful summary.
I'm thinking about references I'm gonna make later in the episode.
Okay, I'm excited.
Okay, Sansa. Let's try to get through this quick, because I am going to want to dwell on so many details. So let me just get through it, and then you interrupt me, okay? All right, so she is in the Godswood. And she's thinking back to how Joffrey wasn't quite dead when she left. And as she was leaving, Lady Tanda was also fleeing. I don't know if that's means anything or if it was just the panicked fleeing of everybody. But Lady Chanda was like, "Oh, Sansa, you've such a good heart. You're crying for the man who left you," and that kind of thing. And even Sansa's like, "Why the hell am I crying? I should be dancing. Are these tears of joy? Like, what's going on?"
Homie's just shocked and traumatized.
Yeah. Apparently, she hid a bunch of clothes in the Godswood a couple nights before. So, like, this plan has been becoming more and more solid as the time went on, which is why it would make sense. Like, even if she didn't know about the death thing, she would know that she's escaping tonight. So that's why she's nervous and not eating and all of that stuff.
Slay! Sansa didn't kill Joffrey.
Yeah, and she thinks to herself, "Oh no, Rob was also killed at a wedding feast. It's him I cry for, him and poor Marjorie."
Oh, yeah, poor Marjorie. I still think about the way they had to be like, "Don't worry, it's not you. You're not killing
twice
your husbands."
wedded and twice widowed.
Oh my god.
And apparently not even once fucked, so...
Oh my god.
Anyway, so Dantos told her to dress warmly and to dress dark, so she's got these like a plain warm clothing and this whole thing. And then she undoes her hair, and then she's looking at the hairnet, and she notices one of the gems is missing. And she's like, "What is this?" And then she remembers Dantos telling him that her hairnet was magic and that it would take her home and that she has to wear it to the wedding. So she's like kind of putting things together. She's like, "What the hell does that mean? What kind of magic is this?" And Dantos shows up, reeling drunk, which, like, dude, you couldn't have not been drunk for this very important day.
Yeah.
And, you know, she confronts him about, like, what the hell is this hairnet? And he's like, "Oh, they're just black amethysts. There's magic in them." And then she is like, "There was murder in them. You poisoned him. You did. You took a stone from my hair." And she doesn't know exactly how, like, technically it would have worked, but she can kind of tell that there's something going on. What do you think about this?
I don't know, because it's like, but like, why did it have to... That's such an odd choice. Like, a stone in the pie. Like, do you know what I mean? I guess it was like one of the, or like in the fucking thing. But that also doesn't, like, it doesn't make sense to me because I don't think it's real magic. So it's like a stone. So why wasn't it found in the autopsy? Like, was it already in his stomach?
Maybe it's
like,
not a real stone and it's like a pill of some kind. So
all of the hairnet thingies are just...
I don't know. What I do know...
So it just dissolved as he ate it? Like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just weird.
Let me bring up this prophecy by the Ghost of High Heart for you.
Oh my god, it's always fucking High Heart.
"I dreamt of a maid at a feast with purple serpents in her hair, venom dripping from their fangs. And later,
God.
I dreamt that maid again, slaying a savage giant in a castle built of snow." So if that's Sansa, who is this savage giant she's gonna slay in a castle built of snow?
In a savage giant in a castle built of snow? Is it... What's his face? Is she about to kill, like, Gregor?
Okay, but how is he in a castle built of snow?
I don't know. But how is she gonna go to the wall? That doesn't make sense. He did say, like, "I'm taking you home," but I didn't think that was...
also be Winterfell, you know?
No, but that's... No, I know, but, like, he said he was taking her home, but I don't believe him. So I guess now I have to believe him. But there's nothing at Winterfell. Like, it's
That's
so
true.
confusing. Like,
I guess we don't know enough information, but I just want the main one what we need to discuss is the serpents in her hair.
Okay.
And that's I would say that there is a connection to venomous hair and poisoning Joffrey.
It makes sense. And I bet this, like, I'm not saying that this isn't the explanation. I'm just saying I'm confused.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Yeah. We don't know enough about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because even she is like, how can you make someone choke by putting an amethyst in their wine? Like, how does that work? So we don't know exactly how this is the poison, but somehow it is the poison.
Mm-hmm.
And also, why does it need to be in her hairnet, you know?
That too, and it's like, okay, so it was in her hair, and then what, like, Dantos silently creeps by as Joffrey and Tyrion are fighting, and how did she not notice? Or did he take one out as he gave it to her, and that was just extras?
Well, she
like,
doesn't remember. I mean? She remembers all of them. Like, she doesn't notice any of them missing before the feast.
Okay, so it was... So, but then it's like, the room's full of people. I guess Dantos is like, his whole job at the feast is like playing that part of the fool or whatever, so like, people aren't gonna, like, obviously if Cersei starts walking around...
When did he get close to Joffrey's, like, food, though?
And when did he get to Sansa? Like, I have so many questions, because it's like, when did he get to Sansa? When did he get to Joffrey? Or maybe it wasn't even him. Like, maybe that part of the plan wasn't even him, but then it's like, who was it? And it's just like... And I'm so confused. And it's like... I'm like, okay, because then we also have, like, the boat guy who's at least partially in on it. So did boat guy do it? Also,
was boat guy at the feast?
Oh, well, right. No, because then he would have.
So,
okay.
like, let's get to the boat guy. So they're, running through the castle, and she notices that he's wearing his old, like, knight's clothing underneath, and he said he wanted to be a knight for this night or whatever.
Knight for this night.
Yeah. And they're running through, like, the secret passageways, and then finally they're outside the castle and on a cliff's edge, and they have to climb down this jagged, like, rock face. If you remember, this is the same spot that Ned and Littlefinger climbed down when Littlefinger led Ned to where Catelyn was staying.
Okay, that makes sense, because I couldn't remember who'd climbed down it, but I remembered that someone, and yeah,
Littlefinger is part of this plan that he would, yeah.
Okay, because I remember I was like, I know someone did this, but I don't know who. I couldn't remember it was Ned, but I guess that makes sense, because he was always sneaking out.
Anyway, so they're, actually, he wasn't always sneaking out. That was one of the problems, is that he should have snuck out more than more often.
True.
But anyway, so they're freaking out. Like, she's obviously freaking out that she doesn't want to go down this dangerous cliff. He's freaking out because he's drunk and overwhelmed, and he's like, you saved me, and he's crying, and she's like, well, you're saving me now. But he's like, well, not quite yet. Let's, like, go. Otherwise, we'll both die. And she's like, okay, you go first. And in her head, she's thinking, well, if he does fall, I don't want him falling on top of me and knocking both of us off the cliff. That would be bad.
Genius.
Which I was like, yeah, honestly, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
But he climbs down, then she climbs down after him, and it's like this harrowing escape. But she makes it to the ground, and they walk, like, I don't know, she said like 50 yards or 50 feet or something downriver, and there's this guy in a boat waiting for them, and Dantos calls him Oswell, and the guy's like, dude, no names.
So is this one of the Kettle Blacks?
Is it?
I think it is.
Interesting.
And let me explain why.
Okay, yeah, you explain to me, and then I will...
Okay, wait, first thing, Sansa, girl boss. I'm so proud of her for doing this, because this Sansa, like...
Yeah, and there's a moment where she stops and she thinks of all the heroines and, like, the songs and stories, and she's like, be like them, and then she does it.
And then she was.
Yeah.
Slay Sansa. Okay, second thing. Okay, first of all, they all have O names. And aren't they, like, triplets or something, and we only know of two of them or something? Or, like, only two of them have, like, major roles or something? I swear they were triplets. I don't know. And then, or there's at least two of them. I don't know if there's three of them. And also, okay, their description of, like, the, like, tall, like, long
gangly,
hair,
hooked nose.
And
yeah.
I was like, And as soon as I read that, I couldn't remember who, like, I know there's multiple characters we know who have hooked noses, but I couldn't remember any of them. And as per usual, my first thought, no matter what, is always Varys. But then I was like, I swear Varys is short, not tall, so that doesn't really work. I don't think he has stilts in his disguises.
So the 3 kettle blocks, that the 3 triplets or brothers that we met, they are Osfred Kettleblack, Osmond Kettleblack, and Osney Kettleblack.
Okay, I think Dantos is just drunk and said the wrong name.
So you think this is one of the triplets?
Yeah.
But this is an old man. Like, the triplets aren't old men.
Maybe it's a disguise.
Okay. Interesting.
Hey, who's Oswell? You tell me. Who the fuck
We don't
is
know.
Oswell?
I think that's the point.
Okay, but I just want to know.
Of course you want. No, but I like your thinking. That was some good, like, putting things, being like hook nose, like.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know. Cause yeah. Oh my god. No, that was like after the fact. I was like, but I was too lazy to look in the appendix and see if it made sense or not. But okay, wait. So do all 3 of them have important roles at court?
I think
or was only 2 of them.
It says, so I'm looking at the appendix, right? And on the section that's the king on the throne, it says Cersei's Sworn Swords. Oh, because, okay, yeah. Sir Cersei's Sworn Swords are Sir Osfred Kettleblack and Sir Osney Kettleblack. And I think the one that's remaining, which is Osmond, is actually on the King's Guard. So he's not just Cersei's, but he's like, so all 3 of them are important guards.
Okay, then that kind of throws a wrench in my plan, or in my thoughts.
Osmond is on the King's Guard.
I thought it was like 2 of them got good positions, and then the 3rd one was just like...
No, 3rd one's got even higher position.
Oh, that's why I was like, oh, it's like his little, like, haha, fuck you, you know?
No, but that was good investigating. Don't like lose that. Like keep that.
Okay.
And keep your eye on this guy. So they get in the boat and they're shepherded away. And I like this detail of them threading through all the different galleys and sunken ships and broken masts and all that stuff. Yeah. Because the battle happened not that long ago, like 6 months ago.
We didn't just fix everything.
Yeah. And even Sansa is looking at Oswell or whatever this guy's name is. And she's like, there's something oddly familiar about him, but she can't quite place it. Because she does know exactly what the Kettleblacks look like. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she's wondering how far it is, but like, he's like, shut up. Sound carries over the water. Don't talk. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, huddle down, be quiet, and like, start making their way through the fog. And eventually a ship emerges with a figurehead that's a merman with a golden crown blowing a great seashell horn. Did you remember that Littlefinger's ship was the Merling King?
No.
Like, did you not think about Littlefinger until he literally showed up?
No, I didn't. But then I was like, oh my god, once upon a time I used to think this. So I kind of gave myself credit. I was like kind of right. I stopped thinking it because logically I was like, okay, but like, homie is literally now married to someone else. Or supposed to. You know what I mean? And he was so far away, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, he's supposed to be in the Vale. What would he be doing here? Why would he want Joffrey dead?
But I guess, I don't know. I guess we just need to, you know what I realized? Okay. Every time we don't see him for a while, and then he shows up again, he always just ruins everything. And it's just sad.
Did he ruin everything in this case yet?
I don't know if he ruined everything, but I just don't really, like, trust him with Sansa's well-being.
You ruined everything, you stupid bitch.
What's that
from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, wait,
which I will be referencing again today. Anyway, so they pull up, there's sailors, and, so she goes up first, then Oswell goes up after her, but Dantos stays in the boat. And they're up on the ship. There's a couple sailors, and then there's a voice that's like, hey, here, take this cloak. And she's like, wait, I know that voice, but he's in the Vale. And then she sees Sir Lothar Brune. Now, the way that she knows his name means that we've seen this guy before. I have no memory. I'm so sorry.
I don't really.
I should have looked him up, but I didn't.
I had no idea who he was. I was like, okay, I don't really know how he showed up. Maybe he was just one of the night people that went with Peter just to make sure he was not on his own or some shit.
Maybe. Hang on, let me Google it. He took part in the Hand's tourney in the first book.
Wow. What a significant role.
And then also in Joffrey's birthday tourney in the... Oh, and his opponent in Joffrey's tourney was Dantos.
Oh, that's so funny. What a full circle moment. Oh, was that when Dantos fell off his horse and got
and
condemned?
Sansa saved his life, and probably if Brune is working for Littlefinger, that's how Littlefinger heard about that incident.
Okay, so that was in the Hand's tourney?
No, that was in Joffrey's birthday tourney.
Oh my god, there's too many tourneys in these books.
Yeah, but the birthday tourney was kind of sad. Everybody was like, there's no good fighters here.
Was that just when the war was first starting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ned had died, Sansa was captive, and she was still engaged to Joffrey, so she was having to be oh, I love you and all that stuff. I don't hate you for killing my family at all.
Oh my god. Oh, this was during the second book, during the long period where every character we saw was just depressed. And bad things were just happening to them.
Yeah. Anyway, so he is working with Peter. That's all that matters. So Dantos is like, I gotta go back. And Baelish is like, well, you'll probably want your payment, 10,000 dragons before you go, which that's a lot of money. I just want to impress how much money that is.
Also, I don't know, not that, I believed Dantos, but a little bit. I was kind of man, and, when he was kind of, crying.
Yeah, but, okay, so the point is, for his payment, Peter is like, Sir Lothar, the reward, and then Lothar, pulls up and shoots Dantos and kills him. And 2 more bolts take him out, and he's dead for real. Mm-hmm. And then they throw a torch down on top of his corpse, and the little boat he was on is lit on fire, so that there's no evidence of anything. Now, Sansa is of course shocked. She's like, "You killed him," and Littlefinger's like, "That dude was nothing, and the only reason he was helping you was for the gold, and." He would have taken my gold now, but once, they came questioning and torturing, he would have revealed where you were. So...
I know, but it was just nice to think, I don't know, I'm just gonna still think of it in my head, yes, he did it for the money, but also a part of him was oh, I kind of owe her, I don't think owing her would have been enough to do it, obviously.
I still think he was too gross.
So. I never said he wasn't gross. I think he had, a weird, I feel like it was this weird thing where, yes, he was, attracted to her and, being weird about it, but I also feel like it was just this weird, I don't know, I do think that he appreciated what she did and was, yeah.
Yeah, but I also don't think he would have lasted at all. Whether it was more money that would have, gotten him to talk about her whereabouts or, being questioned or tortured,
oh, yeah.
He would have, yeah.
Oh, he's not, this man showed up drunk for an escape plan. Yeah. He's not the most...
once again, I'm not going to be mourning his death. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
As Littlefinger says,
kind of bad.
A bag of dragons buys a man's silence for a while, but a well-placed quarrel buys it forever.
Also, my question was, why was he I want to dress up as a knight for this? Just, it's his nightly mission, or?
Yeah.
In his mind? Okay, cool.
I guess. I don't know. He said he was my Florian, and Littlefinger is like, don't you remember what I told you? Life is not a song, and you'll learn that one day to your sorrow.
Oh my. Thanks,
and then she's like, is it all lies forever and ever, everyone and everything? Which is like basically
Sansa.
you all the time.
I was just gonna say, this I identified hard with. I was like, wow, ouch.
Oh, but then Littlefinger comes back with almost everyone, save you and I, of course, which is like,
it's like, no, you're built of lies, sir. Like,
hopefully Sansa is smart enough to like not fall for his shit, but I don't know.
And everything that he just tries to feed into her mind, I was just like, it just made me so mad because I was like, there is nobody alive anymore who can tell you the truth. Like, that is so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, man.
So then he's explaining why he asked her to meet Dantos in the Godswood and how that's the only safe place in the Red Keep because they're like Varys' like little birds can't spy on them.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing. And then he's like, you look tired. Tell me of the feast, though. How did your lord husband enjoy my jousting dwarves? So we learn that was his doing, and he had to like really like lead Joffrey. He said you can lead a king to water, but with Joff you had to splash it about before he realized he could drink it.
That was funny.
When I told him about my little surprise, his grace said, why would I want some ugly dwarfs at my feast? I hate dwarfs. I had to take him by the shoulder and whisper, not as much as your uncle will. And you can just like imagine the look on Joffrey's face just being like,
oh,
like, yeah.
Like, come on. Ugh.
Sansa's like, oh my god, they think Tyrion poisoned him because of that, like, all the conflict that act created. Mm-hmm. And Littlefinger is like, yeah, they do. And widowhood will become you, Sansa. And then she's like, oh my god, that means I'm free of this marriage. And that is what I want, isn't it? But she's not sure because I don't think she wants that kind of bad for Tyrion.
Yeah.
Of course she doesn't want to be married to him, but of course he
hasn't done anything for her to be like, oh, I want him dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, this is wild. Okay, so it was the dwarf stuff, and then that led to, and then, yeah, I guess, like, yeah, I guess when you have someone with the temper of Joffrey, things just kind of happen. Like, you don't really even need to plan anything out. You can just let it happen, because it'll happen somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, all Joffrey really needed to do was just, like, send a thing.
Or you mean Littlefinger?
Sorry, yes. Littlefinger.
So Littlefinger's whole thing. Okay, wait, let's get through this chapter and then we'll like talk about what his involvement in this was and what his motives are. Mm-hmm. So he leads her to like what will be her cabin for the journey. And she's like, but why would you want Joffrey dead? Like, he named you Lord of Harrenhal and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, why would I want to kill him? Besides, I'm 1,000 leagues away in the Vale, so there's no way I killed him. Mm-hmm. And he has this like monologue, like, always keep your foes confused. If they're never certain who you are or what you want, they cannot know what you are like to do next. Sometimes the best way to baffle them is to make moves that have no purpose, or even seem to work against you. And remember that, Sansa, when you come to play the game. What game? The only game, the Game of Thrones.
Wow.
They said it again.
I can't. We really went from Cersei saying it to fucking Littlefinger. Littlefinger is not the next great
I think
villain.
the first time somebody said it was actually Jorah. Oh? When he was like, the regular folk don't care for the Game of Thrones kind of thing.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and then he's like, I loved your mother, and once again implies that they had sex. And in a better world, you might have been mine, not Eddar Stark's. My loyal, loving daughter, he says with, like, creepy eyes.
This is so weird. Because on one hand, he's, like, ogling at her all the time. And then on the other side, he's like, oh, but I see you as a daughter.
Like, and you could have been my daughter, but since you're not, so I want to fuck you. Like, it's a really gross thing.
It's so weird. It's like, I acknowledge that you are a child. However,
that's not going to keep me from doing what I want.
Icky. And like I said, there's no one alive to refute this.
Like, Sansa is completely reliant on him now. She can't go back. She escaped the night of the king's death. Like, the moment she shows up, she's dead.
Yeah.
And not only that, with the hairnet thing, she is, like, explicitly involved in the doing the death of Joffrey, right?
Yeah.
And Littlefinger's, like, ensured that Tyrion is blamed for it now, so that she is no longer married to Tyrion, but also that once again, if she goes back, she's alongside Tyrion blamed for Joffrey's death.
Yeah.
So
this is a great plan.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not a great space for Sansa to be in. I mean, she's not with the Lannisters, but I don't know if this is any better.
I don't know if this is really an escape rather than just a change of trap, you know?
Yeah. And he says, you're safe now and we're sailing home. So where do you think he's taking her?
Okay, but, like, also, so did he ever go to the Vale? Like, did he go to the Vale, do his thing, come back, figure out and now he's, like, doing this? Or is it, like, now they're gonna go to the Vale together and now he'll finally do what he was fucking supposed to do? So he's just been hanging out on a ship out in the middle of the sea this whole time? I don't think so, but it's, like, it still begs the question, like, how long has he been hanging out on the ship? Like, is it just, like, he showed up a couple days ago, like, couple days before the new year, he knew that was Joffrey's wedding, Like, how, like, I just, like, need a Littlefinger chapter so we can figure out the logistics of this plan, because I'm so confused.
Given what you know now, where do you think he's taking her?
I think they're... Okay, but then there's also the prophecy, and he did say you're going home. But I feel like the High Heart lady.
Oh, right. The giant in a castle made of snow. Yes.
So, yeah, they're probably going to Winterfell, but I feel like he still has to do the Vale thing. So maybe they're going to go to the Vale.
Okay.
Yeah.
So... what about his motives? Like, we know he wants to trap Sansa into this. Is that enough of a motive for everything? Or is he being like, yeah, I have no motive and that's my motive? Like,
I don't know. Because it's like, I mean, the power transfer, it's still the Lannisters. It's still, it gets rid of Tyrion. It gets Sansa into his clutches. But other than that, like, it doesn't really do much for him. Other than now he... Like, if he gets caught with Sansa, that's a whole thing. So the only thing it really does is put him in danger and get rid of Tyrion. So it's almost like... Like, it's not like this is gonna get him a reward or some shit, So it's almost like... I feel like this was just... He just wanted to. And it's also, like, the whole thing of, like... It's like the Catelyn he never got to have, so it's like all that. So I don't think this was really that much of a power play, because there's no one alive to really care.
So, say they go to the Vale. Lysa, who is Sansa's aunt, is there.
Yeah, but she doesn't know she look. I mean, I guess she has pretty characteristic hair, but I feel like you could easily do a disguise, like...
So, if he takes her to the Vale, he's not going to tell anybody or Lysa that this is Sansa.
I don't think so. That's too dangerous. Because he can't talk his way out of that. I don't think, right? Like, what do you say? You can't be like, oh, sorry, she just showed up at my door completely on her own. Like, that doesn't...
Or he could be like, oh, as a gift for our wedding, I bring you your niece.
Yeah, and Lysa's gonna care.
That's true. That I forgot of who Lysa is. Yeah. Okay. And do you think anybody else was involved in this Joffrey's death plot with him? Because we still don't quite know how the poison got from Sansa's, like, thing to Joffrey.
I mean, I remember last time I was like, it's the Viper's revenge, you know?
Right, I forgot about that. Sorry. And, like, yeah, vipers, poison, all that stuff.
Yeah, and now if Viper were to get married, because, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, like, I still think Viper could still be involved.
I love how you call him Viper, not the Red Viper or Oberyn. You're just Viper.
Like, I just don't, I don't know. I have no idea who's involved in this plan. It just...
Okay, so your best guess is the Red Viper.
Yeah, that's kind of all I got.
All right, Oberyn, we got our eyes on you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for predictions. Like this chapter was kind of a revelation, but also not that much happened. She just like got on a ship.
So true. She did some rock climbing and got on a ship.
Mm-hmm.
She had a nice night in the outdoors while Joffrey's death bells were ringing.
Yeah. Okay, so Jaime. He is at an inn almost like really close to King's Landing, and he's hearing stories about Joffrey's death. And I always like seeing how the stories like evolve through word of mouth. Because the story here is the imp opened his throat with a dagger and drank his blood from a big gold chalice. Now we know that there is something with his throat, and we know there is a gold chalice involved, and Tyrion was somehow involved, but like things have gotten convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else is like, no, it was Sansa who did it. And then she vanished from the hall in a puff of brimstone, and a ghostly direwolf was seen prowling the Red Keep, blood dripping from his jaws.
Yeah. The direwolves that are all dead were here.
Well, not all of them. Not yet.
Most of them.
Actually, the only ones we know for sure are dead are Lady and Grey Wind.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Anyway, okay. So he's trying to think about Joffrey, and every time he tries to bring his face to mind, it turns into Cersei's. And basically...
Wow, he loves his son, you guys.
Yeah, all of this sums up to he could give two fucks about Joffrey, but
which made me respect Jaime even more.
He's thinking how Cersei will look to me for comfort and revenge, and I like how he already knows that she'll want revenge through him.
Yeah.
Like he has no delusions about what she wants from him.
Yeah.
And then they get to the gates of the city, and it stinks because cities stink.
This was a nice little smoke, sweat, and shit. King's Landing in short. And that's kind of the best description of King's Landing in the world.
And, you know, he's also thinking about whether Tyrion could have killed Joffrey. Like, he's like, he knew he was my son. Could he really have done it? Like, I don't really believe so.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, but I don't really care. Joffrey died. And is it like, you know, the kid, he says the boy lived and died believing Robert Baratheon his sire. So he's And apparently, like, Jaime was there when Joffrey was born, but he never held Joffrey because Cersei didn't want them, like, hanging out together and making it even more obvious that it was his kid. Mm-hmm. Although an uncle could totally hold his nephew, like, yeah. I feel like that was like a little intense.
I think she was like, I don't want people to see how much you look like, and it was like, they're gonna see that anyway.
Yeah. So if like maybe like Jaime never got the opportunity to develop a relationship with Joffrey, but also he totally says I had no interest in him. That you know, squalling pink thing took too much of Cersei's attention, and I didn't like that.
Oh my god. And also it's Joffrey. Like, what kind of relationship could they have formed? It's not like...
I don't know, maybe Jaime could have been the parental figure that he never actually had. Like, the one he needed.
That's true. I guess, like, it could have... Maybe he could have been a better person.
Like, Jaime's a jerk, but he has a conscience, you know?
Yeah.
And he's thinking if the Father above came down to offer him back his son or his hand, Jaime knew which he would choose.
I mean...
And he's like, I've got a second son. Besides, I can have more if I want. Like, so...
That was kind of funny. Damn.
He's thinking about Brienne on the journey and how as soon as she heard about the Red Wedding, she like totally broke down. Like she was, I think he says like half alive or half dead or something throughout the journey. Mm-hmm. And her sullen silences soon began to fray his good humor almost as much as Qyburn's endless attempts to be ingratiating. Mm-hmm. So Qyburn's trying hard. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I never thought I would find myself missing the company of Cleo's Frey.
Please.
Which is a diss on like all three, like Cleos and Brienne and Qyburn.
Yeah.
He's heard about people like Riverland people, lords and stuff coming to King's Landing to swear fealty now that they have no choice. Mm-hmm. And there's like a bunch of people that are being held captive at the Twins and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so they get to the gates. There's a whole line of people waiting to get in because they have to pay for the privilege to sell in the city. But they are willing to pay it because there's good money to be made in the city. Like, people don't recognize him, so they're just like, oh, you're here to bend the knee? Okay, head on down to the castle. Don't cause any trouble. Like,
yeah.
And he's noting how nobody recognizes him through the streets. And the guy who's, like, escorting him is like, yeah, well, your face has changed, your arms as well. And they have a new Kingslayer now, which is something I didn't think about, but that's totally true.
We love Kingslayer brothers.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait! You know what's so funny? Okay, so Cersei was like... I mean, okay, you could argue that Cersei wasn't responsible for Robert's death, but I'm gonna say that she was.
Oh, she was 100%.
Okay. But, like, not, like, direct... Like, do you know what I mean? She didn't directly kill him, but all three of them are now Kingslayers. They're the Kingslayer siblings.
The Lan clan just be killing the man. Although... You don't think that Tyrion killed Joffrey, so then it would be true.
Oh, yeah.
Or have you changed your mind since the last episode where you were so stoutly defending him?
I haven't changed my mind. I just got really wrapped up in, like, the pattern, you know? Of, like, oh, like, all of them are... Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah. So they get to the gates of the Red Keep, and there's a bunch of guards, and is it Sir Meryn Trant guarding with them? And Joffrey is
This is the one who killed Syrio, right?
Yes, yeah.
Bitch. Okay.
He's like, get the fuck out of my way. And everybody moves right away. It had been a long time since anyone had leapt to obey him quite so fast. Jaime had forgotten how well he liked it. He's been through some shit. For sure.
And also, like, if you go from, like, that level of fame and, like, royalty to, like, literally being in a cellar, like, that must be a very big difference. Like, you get used to the comfort, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And then he runs into, like, more Kingsguard and realizes that there's, like, new people of the Kingsguard now. And he's thinking how like Cersei to name me Lord Commander, but then choose my colleagues without consulting me.
I also think it's, like, he's being... I know he's, like damaged and, like, really traumatized, but he's being really funny in this chapter. And it's just really funny. Like, he's like, how many monarchs have you lost since I left the city? 2, is it? And I completely forgot that he was gone when Robert died. So that's so funny.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, I just think Jaime provides comedic relief.
Y'all are the Kingsguard, and you've forgotten to guard the king, which is your main responsibility.
Please.
Yeah, so Balon Swan notices his hand is missing and he's like, yeah, well, I fight with my left now and it makes for most of a contest. Like, he's trying to, like, be cool like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he hears about Mace Tyrell and Oberyn and Tywin all colluding together. And he's like, whoa, all three of them in the same room? That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asks after Cersei, but before he can like really get anywhere with that, Loras spots Brienne and immediately goes to challenge her.
I didn't even think of this.
Right?
Oh my god, I'd completely forgotten about all that.
He totally thinks that she killed Renly, and he like accuses her right then and there, and she's like, no, it was a shadow, like it wasn't me, I promise. Catelyn was there and all this. She saw it too. It was Stannis. And Jaime has to step in and be like, dude, calm down. And Loras like shoves him aside. And finally, Jaime has to be like, I am the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, you arrogant pup. You're commander. So as long as you wear that white cloak. Now sheathe your bloody sword, or I'll take it from you and shove it up someplace even Renly never found.
I can't! That's so funny!
But it's also like totally outing him.
Yeah, that wasn't okay. But it was
also,
funny.
I don't know how much of a secret it is. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, like, it's like in the moment. Like, this man is not listening.
No.
Like, you could not shove your literal leader aside.
Yeah.
That's not gonna fly over. But also, I get it, you know, he's like defending his dead lover, so, you know, I understand, you know, it throws you for a loop. But still, as people who know that Brienne didn't do it, this is frustrating.
Yeah. Anyway, so Loras calms down, but he still wants her arrested. And Jaime's trying to be like, listen, for what it's worth, she does have honor, more than I have seen from you. And besides, she's not what you'd call clever. But even my horse could come up with a better lie if it was a lie she meant to tell. Like, why are you like this, Jaime? Like, he's defending her, but also insulting her.
Oh my god.
Basically, he's saying, like, if she wanted to lie, she could have come up with a more believable lie. So they take Brienne away, and she's, like, looking at him really hurtfully. And he's like, don't you get it? I'm doing this for you. Why does everybody misunderstand every bloody thing I do? And then he's like, Eris, that's why.
Oh my god.
So he has heard that Cersei's in the Sept, so he goes to the Sept, which is being guarded by a tall man with a black beard, broad shoulders, and a hooked nose. And this is, Osmond Kettle Black, I think? Who doesn't recognize Jaime.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, get the fuck out of here, blah, 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 until obviously Jaime makes himself clear that he's Jaime. Oh yeah, Osmond says, I have the honor to be Sir Osmond Kettleblack, and Jaime thinks, where's the honor in that?
Oh my god. I can't.
So he goes in and sees Cersei kneeling before the altar of the mother, and Joffrey's like casket-esque situation is beneath the stranger, who is like the god of death or whatever. And there's 100 candles that are burning, sending up 100 prayers for him. And he thinks Joffrey's like to need every one of them too.
Oh my god.
He's really roasting everybody left and right.
Yeah.
He approaches and like Cersei looks up and is like, oh my god, Jaime, is this really you? And she just like waits there, and he thinks how she never comes to me. She has always waited, letting me come to her. She gives, but I must ask. And then he goes to her, and she's like, you should have come sooner and kept him safe, my boy. And he thinks, our boy. Like, even, I don't know. It's just a constant thing throughout this chapter. And he shows her his stump, and she's like, whoa, the Starks? And he's like, nope, that's Vargo Hoat, the goat of Harrenhal. And yeah, Cersei just breaks down, is like, oh my god, he killed him. He warned me that one day, did you remember this?
Oh my god, no. This is so out of context.
When I thought myself safe and happy, he would turn my joy to ashes in my mouth. And he did.
That was not, I think even as he said it, he was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Yeah, you fucking shouldn't have.
And Jaime's like taken aback, like, Tyrion said that? Like, I don't think he would actually slay. Like, kinslaying is even worse than kingslaying in the eyes of gods and men. And I love Tyrion. I was good to him. Well, but for that one time. But the imp didn't know the truth of that, did he?
I swear to God, can we solve one thing in this series ever?
Any ideas?
I don't know. I still think it's just the incident with the person he got married to.
Okay. Fair enough. And she's like, as he was dying, he pointed at his murderer. Although I don't know how Joffrey would know.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're just reaching.
She first tells Jaime to just go and kill Tyrion in his cell now, and nobody would stop him. And Jaime's like, I'm not gonna do that. I need to know how it happened. This man is literally my
brother. Like, what are you on about?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a kinslayer, and also I need more information. And she's like, yeah, you'll get that information at the trial that's gonna happen.
Also, I'm confused because she says, like, oh, he killed him for Shay, but that doesn't make sense. Or, like, she thinks it's Alayaya, but it's like, that doesn't really make sense.
Where does it say?
Like, she's just saying things. Like, before she asks
because it's because when Tyrion said that your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth, that was when Alayaya was whipped.
I know, but the way she responds, she doesn't clarify that. She's like, he asks, why would he kill Joffrey? For a whore. Like, that's when she says that. So she's not clarifying, he said that.
She's not clarifying to Joffrey, but it's clear to us why she thinks that.
I know, but...
Or she could mean he killed him for Sansa.
Really?
I don't know. It could be. Like, I'm not, like, it's not really...
That doesn't make sense,
beneath Cersei to be insulting.
But why would she say something that also doesn't even make sense in the way that she's using it?
I don't know. I'm just trying to...
I don't think that makes sense. I feel like she's just so, like... She's like, Tyrion has done this, and now she's just using anything and everything against it, whether it's actually proof or not. Like, she's just like, oh, she did it for her, but it's like, that doesn't really make sense, because she's not involved at all. I agree with that,
but I'm just saying, like, what are the possibilities of, like, who in her mind could she mean? She could mean Alayaya due to that statement that Tyrion made at that time, or she could be like, it was revenge for his little whore wife or something.
But I feel like she wouldn't say something that doesn't make sense. Like, not wouldn't doesn't she? Make no, but, like, she wouldn't... Like, I just feel like that's an odd thing to, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. So, like, even if it's Alayaya, yeah, like, she could totally believe that that's the reason. So, okay, now we're gonna get to the next section of this, but I want to offer a trigger warning because I will be discussing themes of sexual assault, so... If you don't want to listen to that, please skip ahead or something. Okay, so this scene is a very contentious scene. I guess we can talk about what happens and then, like, our thoughts about it. Yeah. So Jaime is they kiss, and then, like, he goes to, like, he starts kissing her neck and, like, obviously, like, going for sex related activities, and Cersei's saying no, not here, the Septons. And it says he kissed her again, kissed her silent, kissed her until she moaned. So, and then she's, like, even pounding on his chest with feeble fists, murmuring about the risk, the danger, about their father, about the Septons, about the wrath of the gods. He never heard her. Those are direct quotes that I'm quoting from the paragraphs, by the way. Yeah. And she's on her period, but then she starts telling him to hurry, quickly, do it now. Yes, I have you now. You're home. blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're having like full-on sex at this time, and she's helping guide it too.
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as they're done, she's like, let me up. We can't be discovered like this. And they get up. He notices that all the candles that he like kind of swiped away could have totally lit the sept on fire, but he would never have noticed because he was so not noticing things. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that's like kind of the end of that segment.
Yeah.
Now, the points of contention are obviously this does not seem consensual.
Yeah. He's just kind of like, oh, well, this is a thing I'm doing now.
Yeah, she's telling him no. The people, like, there's people who argue that she really did consent because, like, eventually she says, hurry, do it now, quickly, blah, blah, blah. Yes, all of those things.
Right.
So this is a hard scene to analyze because we're really only in Jaime's head and we're not in Cersei's head. It would really make it easier to know what she's thinking at this point.
Yeah.
But he's not like paying attention to her. He's silencing her. Mm-hmm. He's not listening to her. Mm-hmm. And ignoring everything she is saying.
Yeah. And like, it's like he's so unaware of his surroundings that he wouldn't have even realized if the sept's on fire. I feel like that's the biggest indicator of like, no matter what she had said, he wouldn't have listened.
Wasn't gonna stop. Like, even if she had not started saying yes,
exactly,
or like said yes, yeah,
so
he wouldn't have cared.
Happening was more of like not like coincidence / like that wasn't something he waited for, you know?
Yeah, and consent, like actual consent, has to be prior and informed. So you're in the middle of the act and then somebody reluctantly agrees is not consent. Yeah. And also, one way to read the scene is she doesn't want to do it, but when she realizes she can't stop him, she just wants to get it over with as soon as possible, which is why she says, hurry, quick, whatever, and like pushes him away as soon as they're done. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and like even the moments of like, oh, yeah, like all of that could just be like, oh, yeah, you know, kind of like oh, it's fine, you're home now, like, we can do this later.
Yeah, exactly. I think I don't know what George was trying to do with this. I think he's trying to say that Jaime so desperately needs her that he can't stop himself, but that is such a gross way of thinking, is like, oh, somebody they cannot control their need to rape somebody, like, yeah, like, you know. Yeah. And it's also a disservice to the person. You're saying, oh, this person has no control over their own actions, like it's a disservice to them too, not just like who they're doing this to.
Yeah, because then literally a few pages later, like, if you just think about what happens a few pages later, not considering this, it's like he does this like major thing that he would have never had the courage or like the anything to do before, and now it's almost like, so he can control everything else but not this, you know? He can finally take not accountability, but he can finally take control of his life and stop giving in to people and being passive with his life, but like, why is this the way that has to start, you know? Exactly.
So I don't like this scene. Yeah. I like kind of blocked it out. I knew it was coming, but I blocked it out that it was in this chapter that it was coming, and then when it came, I was like, oh no, it's here. We're gonna have to talk about it. Because I'm just gonna be real with you. It's not treated as like Cersei never goes to Jaime like, oh, you raped me that one time. Yeah. And Jaime's never like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. And I think this is one of those weaknesses of the author moment where George thinks he's doing something, but he's really doing something else. So he doesn't treat it as the thing that it actually is later on in the text. Yeah. Now, of course, as being a Jaime lover, this is a real hard thing. Yeah. I don't like this for him. Tough. I will say this like lessens my love for Jaime for sure. Mm-hmm. Although I'm more angry at George R. R. Martin for making this happen than but also I still do like Jaime. I can't I don't hate him. And I that's a really horrible stance to take, honestly. Not horrible, but like hard stance to take given his actions in this chapter.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Jaime that's being snarky to everyone in the courtyard. Like, that's the Jaime I love, not this.
Yeah.
Any additional thoughts on that? Like, this is a tough thing to tackle.
I think that's kind of where I stand too. It's just like, I don't know, it's just tough. Because every time one of these things happens, it's like, okay, yes, it's Jaime's responsibility to, like, not be an asshole. But also it's like, this world, just, like, just how misogynistic they are is just so, like, deeply ingrained. It's like, where...
Yeah.
Like, this is just, like, nobody would bat an eye at this. So it's almost like, yes, Jaime needs to not be this way, but it's also like, how is he supposed to not, like, how is he supposed to know to not be that way when nobody in their society is, you know, it's like a weird, like, I don't know.
I don't know. You can still, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I get what you're saying, but I don't know if I agree with it. I just think George in this scene, like George R. R. Martin, I keep calling him George. I should say Martin. George R. R. Martin should, what he was trying to do, I think, like, in his head.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, these two people, they are literal siblings, twins. They still love each other.
Yeah.
In non-sibling ways.
Mm-hmm.
And they are so hopelessly intertwined that they can't resist from having sex in front of their son's incest baby's dead body in a church. And then I think what he's trying to do with the she's on her period thing is to add, like, another, like, weird thing about it, although, like, period sex. That's my second Crazy Ex-Girlfriend reference today. But there's nothing gross about it. But I think he's trying to say that this is, like, an extra level of gross, which is also another gross thing that I don't like about him.
Yeah. No, I don't like... yeah. George R. R. Martin seems a little questionable.
Oh, he for sure is questionable.
Yeah,
he's like a 75-year-old white man. What do we think he's gonna be?
Okay, true. It's like this weird where it's like, oh, this totally could have been written without this being a thing. And it's not that I want to ignore that it's a thing. I just wish I could ignore it because I feel like the story would be so much better for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Viserys could be a terrible person without, like, physically abusing Dany. Like, that doesn't, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like I won't say, okay, listen, George R. R. Martin can come up with really creative ways to be horrible to people. We've already witnessed some of them. But maybe in some instances, it's just a lack of creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because, like I know you said, like, it doesn't really get acknowledged later, but it's like, if you're gonna include this, at least acknowledge it after, and like...
Mm-hmm. But I think he literally didn't think that this was what it was going to be.
Right.
What it was actually going to come across as. He thought he was doing this, they're so entwined in love or lust or whatever, that they don't even care what the circumstances are. They're just gonna be fucking. That's what he thinks he's doing. But why don't you make it consensual then? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would much rather talk about how fucked it is that they're fucking while next to their child's
they're
dead
literally
body.
In front of their child. Like, oh my god. Like, if alive Joffrey didn't know, dead Joffrey knows.
And, I don't know. So we're gonna get lots of thoughts about this, I have no doubt. Mm-hmm. Let's hear them in Discord, everybody. I know Leah had, actually, it was... So, I don't know how much I want to tell you, because there's thingies.
Explain. Tell me.
Okay, so we were talking about this for some reason. I won't say what that reason was because that's spoilery.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least months, if not more than a year ago. And I remember this conversation because it stuck with me. And I think when I first read this, my impression was also, oh, it's actually consensual.
Mm-hmm.
But Leah, MVP of our Discord, of like many of making me question all my thoughts, was like, yeah, but it's actually not though. And then I was like, you know what? You're right. So
wait, had you read this before? Oh, I guess because you're reading ahead.
What do you mean?
Because
I've read all these books.
But you said you didn't.
No, okay, when we started the podcast, I hadn't read all the books, but I've read all of them before we even finished book 1.
Oh, I think I missed that. Okay.
You literally didn't know that I've read all these books?
I think I just forgot. I'm sure I knew. I was under the impression that you were reading live with me. Because sometimes you'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. And I thought you forgot about it because you'd only, like, heard about it or, like, read it partly or something. No, I've read these. Oh.
I think, so when I finally did end up reading these, this book especially is so pack full of things that I was, like, breezing through it. I think I read it within a week max, like 4 days or something. And I think I was just like, okay, they have sex in a sept. That's fucked up. Like, right. And then like I moved on. Like I didn't
rather than analyzing what actually happened. Like, oh shit, he did this when she said that. Okay. Yeah. Because I was like, that feels out of character for you to not have.
No, I think I was just inhaling the books at the time.
I was like, that's so out of character that you missed that. But that makes sense.
Yeah, and but yeah, so we were discussing it, and I like I said, there is that, like, you know, the people that argue that this is consensual, they have that, like, oh, she eventually says yes and is telling him to, like, hurry, and she is also feeling the need for this kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. I think I fell for that that time around. But yeah, this time it was very obvious that that was not what it was. So I am, yeah, and this is going to come up again. No, I don't want to say anything.
Okay, so their relationship's gonna fall apart or some shit.
No, literally, this is not acknowledged. I'm saying that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying we're gonna talk about it again. Okay. Yeah, I won't say anymore because I really don't. I am spewing, like, with spoilers. I'm gonna just.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, folks, give us your non-spoiler thoughts on this in the Discord, please. I think we did that justice, or some kind of justice.
We talked about it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that part's over. And Cersei's like, we can't be doing this shit, especially with father in the castle. So they're, like, extra cautious of that for some reason.
I mean,
because they know
Dad's gonna murder them.
Would he, though? Because that would also, like, he would have to collude with, he would maybe, like, separate them. But I don't know if
No, I'm joking. I don't think he would kill his own children.
It would just be, they don't want to deal with his wrath.
Yeah, like, it just wouldn't be okay.
Yeah, but Jaime says he is sick of being careful and that the Targaryens wed brother to sister, so why shouldn't we? Marry me, Cersei. Stand up before the realm and say it's me you want. We'll have our own wedding feast and we'll make another son in place of Joffrey.
Do you really want to have a wedding after the last 2 failed ones? Like, I get that he's trying to be all, like, empowered and shit, but, like, maybe don't do a wedding right now, because weddings are not looking so good.
Well, obviously that's not happening, but he's kind of delusional here. Like, he's totally delulu.
Yeah, homies.
He's like, yeah, we'll be totally cool, and yeah, it doesn't matter if Tommen doesn't have the Iron Throne. He can have Casterly Rock, and father can have the Iron Throne, because that makes sense.
Exactly. He inherits it. You can just give it to him. Oh my god.
And she's like, what the hell happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
He says, they cut off my hand. And she's like, no, it's more. You're changed. And then she, like, steps away and is like, okay, we'll talk later. I have Sansa Stark's maids in a tower cell that I need to question.
Oh my god.
So now these maids are someone whose name I don't remember, plus Shay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this?
Scary.
What may come of this?
Oh, I mean...
Like, is Shay gonna spill about her and Tyrion, or...
But wouldn't that put her in danger too, though?
It would. And if she really loves Tyrion, she wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope not. She might, though. Because here's the thing. If she doesn't say anything now, like, she might think, like, oh, if I tell them the truth, they might spare me. Because right now, it's like, if Cersei doesn't get any information, Cersei's not going to be like, oh, it's okay, just find them another job. You know, Cersei's probably going to punish them no matter what, just for being Sansa's maids.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Shay might say something just out of like, okay, well, if I'm screwed either way, I may as well try to tell the truth or tell some form of the truth to get out of this and like save her own ass.
So Tyrion's gonna be in even more trouble then.
Yeah.
Alright, so she tells Jaime to leave, and he's like, I crossed 1,000 leagues to come to you and lost the best part of me along the way. Which is interesting that he thinks his hand is the best part of him. Don't tell me to leave. And she's like, leave. So he does leave, and he goes to the Tower of the Hand, and the Lannister guards know him right away, and they're like, oh, thank the gods to give you back to us. And he's like, the gods had no part in it. Catelyn Stark gave me back. Her and the Lord of the Dreadfort. So he is like openly acknowledging this to anyone and everyone. So that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, he said he was gonna. And especially now that she's dead, it's not like she can get any benefit from it. But I mean, he did say he would. And I feel like he does stick to his word.
He goes up, and Tywin just says, oh, Jaime. As if they had last seen each other at breakfast. Like, just so casual.
Okay,
Lord
Tywin.
Bolton told me to expect you earlier. I'd hoped you would be here for the wedding. And Jaime's like, how long have you known I was free? And apparently, Varys told him that he was free like a few days after he escaped. And Tywin sent out like Gregor Clegane and a bunch of other people to like look after him, but also kept it fairly quiet because he didn't want people hunting Jaime down. Then Jaime's like, yeah, well, did Varys tell you about this? And holds up his stump.
Okay, this makes more sense, because you were always like, do you think he knows? Do you think he knows? And I was like, how could he know? He's not freaking out about the arm. But I guess it makes sense that he knew, but not about the arm.
Yeah. Who did this? If Lady Catelyn thinks, first off,
she's dead.
You killed her, dude.
She is literally dead. I don't know if you forgot all the recent deaths, but let me recap. She is dead.
But Jaime's like, no, that wasn't her. This was your goat's work. The Lord of Harrenhal. And Tywin is like, not anymore. Gregor Clegane's taken the castle, and most of the sellswords fled. And Clegane found Margot sitting alone in the Hall of a Hundred Hearts, half mad with pain and fever from a wound that festered. His ear, I'm told. The ear that Brienne bit off.
Wow.
Even Jaime laughs at that. And he's like, he says he could scarcely wait to tell Brienne, though she probably wouldn't find it half so funny as he did.
Oh my god.
And he asks whether Margot is dead yet. Soon, they have taken off his hands and feet, but not killed him yet. I guess. Yeah. And the brave companions have scattered or are dead. Just, that's the whole deal with them. They're no longer like a big sellsword party. Yeah, his dad's like, okay, I've got a gift for you, which if I think this is the gift that I think it is, it's a sword, and that's kind of insulting.
I know, but he's like, oh, you can use your left hand.
Right, he does. Yeah, he does ask him whether you can use your left, and Jaime's like, yeah, totally, for sure.
I can hardly dress myself in the morning. Which, I also realized this is our first time seeing them interact, and it's very interesting.
Is it? No, it's not the first time, is it?
It's the first time we've seen them interact.
Holy shit, it is.
And it's it feels very telling. Like, it's like, I know this scene's different because Jaime's a changed man, you know, he's been trapped for like a year, changes a person, but I feel like you can really see the remnants of, like, I feel like most of their conversations were probably just him being like, and then you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna, okay, father, sure, yeah, yeah, of course I can do that, yeah, okay, cool. Like, I feel like, just like the rest of us, homie has daddy issues, and I think I just never realized, because he's always like, oh, my beloved Jaime, so I think I just never realized he had daddy issues, but homie has daddy issues, and I feel like this was a big emotional thing for him, the stance that he takes.
Yeah, for sure. So he sits down, asks how Joffrey died, and we learn that it was, like, for sure it was poison. It was meant to appear as though he choked on a morsel of food, but I had his throat slit open and the maesters could find no obstruction, so he was for sure poisoned. And Cersei claims Tyrion did it, and Tywin's like, I've got his squire into custody, so poor Pod is also suffering because of this. Ugh. Yeah, evidence gathering is happening, or whatever.
Yeah.
And Jaime's like, but you're gonna kill your own son? Mm-hmm. And Tywin's like, well, if he's innocent, he has nothing to fear, and all this evidence, we'll just see what stands for and against him, you know? Mm-hmm. And even Jaime's like, in this city, fuck all.
Yeah.
And he tries to suggest that, like, you know, maybe it was Stannis because Renly died in a weird manner. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Stannis and Melisandre's leeches.
No, Jaime's like the only one with brains in this city.
Yeah, but Tywin seems convinced that it was poison that killed Joffrey, not sorcery. And he tries to be like, oh, you can't serve in the Kingsguard anymore without a sword hand. And Jaime's like, I can and I will. Crippled or whole, a knight of the Kingsguard serves for life. Tywin brings up how Cersei dismissed Sir Barristan, so that's no longer the case. And even though that was like a foolish thing for her to do, it has been done and now they're going to take advantage of it. But Jaime's like, no, I am not doing that. I am tired of having highborn women kick pails of shit at me, which is a very specific reference to Catelyn doing that to him in the cells. But he just says that to his dad as if it's like an understood thing.
Yeah, like what?
So weird.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, how many highborn women have kicked shit at you, buddy?
Yeah, he's trying to be like, I have a duty as a king, as the king's guard, but Tywin's like, well, you're my son, you have duty as a Lannister. Mm-hmm. And you should go be the heir at I was gonna say Lannisport, but no, it's Casterly Rock.
Not the Lannisport.
Well, there is a Lannisport.
I know, but that's funny.
Right. And go to Casterly Rock and take Tommen with you to be your ward and squire. I want him away from his mother. And I mean to find a new husband for Cersei. Cersei.
What is Cersei?
And he's thinking maybe Oberyn Martell, which, oh my god, can you imagine Cersei and the Red Viper?
I can't. That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, first off, Tywin totally notices the bad influence that Cersei has had on her children.
Yeah.
Not to say, like, you know, Jaime or Robert, their supposed father, had any good influence, but, like, Cersei has also not contributed positively to their upbringing. Mm-hmm. So that's why he wants Tommen far away. Mm-hmm. And Cersei out of the way so that she's not fucking up his plans. And he says that the Tyrells are now insisting that Marjorie be wed to Tommen, which was kind of what you, like...
I mean, makes sense.
You were like, is that what's going to happen?
They want the king.
But he's like, I can offer you instead for Marjorie. And Jaime's like, wait, I'm not going to wed Joffrey's widow. That's so fucking weird,
I'm not going to marry my nephew / my kids
Yeah.
frickin' wife. Like, what?
But also, we also know he has no interest in marrying anybody other than Cersei.
Yeah. But it's also just like, but why would, I don't think the Tyrells would take that when they could literally have the king.
I think Tywin could probably work out a way for them to do it. Tommen's still a child. Like, Marjorie wouldn't really be queen for like another 10 years.
Right. But, yeah, I guess. And I guess Tywin wants to... Yeah, but they did have that one marriage of, like, the baby.
The baby? Oh, yeah. Like, not that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But, like, if anybody can convince the Tyrells to marry Marjorie to Jaime instead of Tommen, it would be Tywin.
But this is insane. It's like, he sees his son, who he hasn't seen for, like, several years, and who has literally been locked up in a cell for, like, at least 6 months, probably, like, a year. And homie lost his hand, or his arm, half of his arm and his hand. And, like, he's just like, yep, here's the plot. This is what we're gonna do. How fatherly of him. Like, I don't know why, I just always thought, like, at least with Jaime, he showed some ounce of... Because all the interactions we've seen with him and Cersei are after Cersei has severely fucked up. Like, he didn't show up until Cersei severely fucked up. And we know he just, like, doesn't even like Tyrion at all. But I just thought, like, at least with Jaime, there was an ounce of, like, my boy, you know?
I think he only loves his kids insofar as what he can get out of them in continuing his legacy and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's so sad.
It is. Anyway, so Jaime is like, no, fuck no. Also, Oberyn Martell, the man's infamous, and also queer, it looks like.
Oh.
Which, of course, they're gonna take as a negative, but yeah, he's like, I don't want Marjorie, I don't want the Rock. And Tywin tries to be like, you're my son. No, I am a knight of the Kingsguard, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, and that's all I'm meant to be. And then, like, there's silence, and this is such a power move on Tywin's part. Mm-hmm. He just stays silent. He did not speak, and did not speak, and did not speak. Because most people cannot stand silence. Yeah. Me being one of them. Like, I need to practice this more, but...
Yeah.
But... Finally, Jaime, like, breaks in the silence and, like, goes father and tries to say something. And then Tywin takes this opportunity to get the last word in. You're not my son. You say you're the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard and only that. Very well, sir. Go do your duty. Like, Jaime got this kind of, like, triumphant moment, but then, like, Tywin totally flipped it. That bastard. He's too good at this kind of manipulation.
I can't. Like... Man, I just...
Also, all of his interactions with his sons, like, after, like, reuniting with his son, those interactions always end with him saying, you're not my son. The last time he did it to Tyrion in the same room, like, in a very similar context, and now he's doing it to Jaime.
Oh my god.
It's just, like, his, like...
That's just
his like go-to move. Like, I'm just gonna disown you every time you do something that displeases
minor inconvenience. Me. Please. That's funny. No, I don't know. It's like, how can you be that good at... I don't know. How can you be that good? It's weird. It's like, he's got the manipulating people skills, but that's where the people skills stop. He's like, family, nah. Friends, nah. Business,
I think he has the skills, just not the...
care.
Intelligence. Like, yeah, care, love.
Anything human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is...
By intelligence, I meant emotional intelligence, by the way, before somebody's like, Tywin is the smartest person in this series. What are you talking about? Like,
I can't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I can't, but I'm proud of Jaime for trying.
Yeah. So, real ups and downs for Jaime in this chapter with, like, him coming in hot, like, just dissing everybody. Yeah. And then fucking up real bad, and then standing up for himself, and then being let down.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jaime confusion continues.
Yeah. Okay. Predictions. Okay. No, Jaime's not going to Casterly Rock, but is Tywin going to manage to keep Tommen away from Cersei by either sending Tommen away or marrying Cersei off, or both?
I think he'll
Which one? Like, what's going to happen?
I think he'll marry Cersei off and then keep Tommen, like, shadowing, like, I don't know, like,
himself
or, like, someone else. But I think he'll keep Tommen here and then send Cersei away. Because you gotta have the king's presence, you know?
Before Joffrey died, I think Tommen was, like, after this, like, messed up generation of Tywin's kids, Tommen was going to be the next heir, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if Jaime doesn't have any kids, asterisks, and Tyrion doesn't have any kids, then it goes to Cersei's kids. And since Joffrey was going to be king, then it would be Tommen who would have been Lord of Casterly Rock.
Yeah.
But now he gets to be the king. I don't know if you... I don't think he cares.
Can you be both?
I don't...
Or is that just a conflict of interest?
I think that's too much. Because, like, even when Robert was king, he had made Renly Lord of Storm's End.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So he could make, like, his cousin or something the heir, you know?
Yeah, but he wants his line to be the one that
I know,
does it.
But yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because then if Tommen's gonna go do that, then he needs...
As I once pointed out on the Game of Thrones pod, Tywin is Tommen's double grandfather, so that's as much your line as you're gonna get.
That's so funny. Not the double grandfather. Poor Tommen, man. I wonder how Marcella's doing.
Down in Dorne, where the Red Viper's from.
Mm-hmm. He should have brought her. She could have seen her brother's wedding.
You know what? Yeah. Like, why? Why didn't that happen? Because he came all the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know they sent her there for, like, to keep her safe or whatever. But she, like, yeah. Joffrey was her brother. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. But that's a good point. Okay. Cersei's gonna get married to whom?
I don't know. Maybe... I don't think Red Viper.
You don't think?
Maybe. I mean, okay, you know what? Just for the fun of it, she's gonna get married to Red Viper.
Okay. And we already said that Shay might spill the beans on Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
How's Podrick gonna fare in all this?
I don't know, man. I hope he survives and, like...
He's a literal child.
I hope he gets to become, like, someone else's squire or something, but I just don't trust Cersei to not just punish everyone afterwards, you know?
Maybe he'll be Jaime's squire.
That would be so fun.
Okay, so Brienne is in the cells now because
Mm-hmm.
Loras accused her of killing Renly.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I feel like Jaime will defend her. And then Cersei will be like, why are you defending this random girl? And he'll be like, no reason.
But, like, will she be put on trial? Will she have to, like, fight for her honor? Like, or will she just be like, Loras just come to his senses and be like, hey, it's cool now?
I feel like she'll have to probably, like, fight.
Right. And she could totally do it, so I'm not worried. Okay, what about Jaime's vow to Catelyn?
What was his vow?
Yeah, like, you return me, I'll return your daughters.
Oh, LOL. Well, he can't really... And she's dead, so...
Who's dead?
Catelyn.
Oh, Catelyn. Oh, sorry. I was like, I thought you said Sansa's dead, and I was like, we just saw her. What do you mean she's dead?
Yeah, I don't think he can. I feel like this is one of those, okay, the person I made the promise to is dead.
The circumstances have changed so much that it doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah, like, maybe if Sansa comes back, or he gets wind of Sansa, then maybe it might be, like, I should return her, or, like, free her in some way, you know? But if she's... And especially because they're gonna think she just ran away and is free now. So he's not gonna... He doesn't know she's, like, in Littlefinger's clutches. So to him, it's like, oh, good for her. It worked out anyway.
She's in Littlefinger's clutches. Get it? Because clutches are fingers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's funny.
Okay, so Brienne also made that vow to Catelyn, but now... So, say she fights for her freedom. She wins, because she's Brienne. Mm-hmm. She goes back to Tarth?
Maybe. I feel like she might try to find Sansa just to be like, this is my sole mission now. Or, like, she might be like, hey, Marjorie, I wanna... No, but Marjorie doesn't want, like... I don't know, but she might be like, I don't know, she might, in honor of Renly or Catelyn, do something in that vein. Like, serve someone close to them or something.
She can serve Loras, who Renly loved.
Yeah, but Loras hates her.
Right.
Yeah, maybe one day she'll serve Sansa. That would be fun.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be too nice, honestly. All right, so we are reading, for the first time in a long time, 3 chapters next time.
Okay, I'm scared.
Why don't you give me your hopes and predictions for which chapters or which people?
Jon, Dany, Sansa.
Nice. Okay, well, we're reading chapters 63, 64, and 65 next time. Chapter 63 is Davos.
Oh. Well, this is definitely going to be Melisandre being like, so, I was right. So, are we going to sacrifice the boy now? Or, oh my god, there's this song, The Boy Is Mine. That's going to be Melisandre.
Okay. And what's Davos gonna do about that? Because do you think he'll be like, okay, I guess 3 for 3, I guess that makes sense.
I don't think so. I think he'll be like, there's another way. And Stannis will be, I don't know why he sounds like that. And Stannis will be like, okay, but she said. And then Davos will be like, you asked me to advise you, sir. If you're asking for my opinion. But I feel like Stannis...
Okay.
I don't know.
So it's just gonna be more, like, debating.
Yeah. And then they might, like, just do it. I don't know. Like,
Does that mean there will be a stone dragon awoken in the next chapter?
I don't know. Maybe. Because I feel like it's also... My thing is just, like, you know, we've had a few Stan fans write in. And I want to have faith in Stannis that he wouldn't do that. And I'm also...
Right, just given the fact that people love him, you're like, he won't do it.
I would hope so. I'm like, so he does that and y'all still love him and he has no interesting characteristics?
We still love Jaime after this chapter, so...
Yeah, but Jaime's entertaining. Like I said, all of these characters are problematic in some way or another. Some of them are just more interesting than the others. And my whole thing with Stannis isn't that I hate him or that I think he's terrible. I just find his interesting quirks not that exciting. You know?
Okay.
So...
Fair enough. So, debating whether or not to kill the boy, killing the boy.
Hopefully not. You know what? I'm gonna have some faith in Stan the man and say that he does not kill the boy.
Alright. Well, chapter 64 is Jon.
Whoa! They just defended and, like, lit people on fire.
Against, like, yeah. Ygritte died.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, he'll probably just be like, wow. Fire. So good. I don't know, they're probably just gonna defend further, you know, assess the damages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's exciting. Chapter 65 is Arya.
You're joking.
I'm not joking.
What the fuck? I hate this book. What do you mean it's Arya? Her head was literally chopped off.
Maybe it's her head rolling around. Maybe it's Arya reincarnated. Maybe it's
so
Arya
confused.
ghost.
This makes no sense. Is she not... Okay, what chapter did she die? Hold up.
52.
Okay, hold up. Hold the phone. No, this cannot fucking keep happening every time. And then it's like, no, their head. Oh my god. Okay, this is... What is happening? Okay. Sansa was not eating. He wondered what Sansa would do. That was such a sweet dream. Tyrion dressed himself. Miro, okay, get out of here, Dany. Bran, okay, back. Oh, I forgot about Bran. All these people are doing such distinct things. I always forget about them. Okay, wait. Ygritte, Jon. Did I go too far?
A couple more.
Did I? Okay, no, I didn't.
No.
Okay, cool. I'm so confused.
It was literally the last Arya chapter.
Oh my god, yeah, but I can't... Okay, wait. His axe took her in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So she just survives a spinal injury?
I don't know.
Is this a flashback?
I don't know.
Can I read these chapters right now? I'm so...
Right now, like right now?
Not right now, but like, I'm so... This makes no sense. Every time I think someone's dead, they're not. Is everyone just alive? Why do they keep doing this? Okay, first it was Bran and Rickon, and then it was fucking Renly, but it wasn't Renly. That one I was okay with, because that made sense. It was a plot point, and it was a ploy. It was like, get all the... Like, that was a smart thing to bring back.
Mm-hmm.
Bran and Rickon, fine. This, no.
So you don't want Arya to be alive?
I want her to be alive. I just don't like having my emotions played with. I don't like this. You mourn.
Can I say that people have been more excited about me reading out these chapter names to you than like even the like actual plot points in the chapters that we've already been covering?
You're joking. Were people more excited about that than Red Wedding? Or was that like same?
No, not Red Wedding.
But like the rest of like the fun, like, oh, Jaime coming back, or like that sort of shit.
Yeah, also, ever wonder why I could never find you an image of Arya's death?
Oh shit!
I was just like, oh yeah, there's no good ones. It's fine.
I hate you so much.
I thought that was what it was gonna give it away.
I can never. Okay, wait, first thing though, that still doesn't make sense. Wouldn't people still depict the image from the point, like, wouldn't it still be like axe in the back of the head? Or would it be like, I'd be like, oh,
I tried
she's not
looking,
dead.
I didn't find anything. So
she's not... I'm so confused. Like, I don't... His axe took her. And, okay, because... here's the thing. Every time he writes their deaths differently. And I thought that was just good writing. I didn't think that needed to be me questioning whether the damn person was dead. Because even literally starting from the prologue, it was like, oh, we think he's dead. But is he? Like, even from the prologue of the first book. And it's like, why do I... And then anytime I question someone's death, you're like, oh, that's so foolish. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, they literally died. Their head got chopped off.
Of course I'm gonna do that.
When freaking Theon... Watch Theon still be fucking alive. You know what? He's decapitated and alive, and I stand by it.
He's decapitated and alive.
He's a chicken, okay? No, every time I say someone's alive, it's wrong. But every time you say someone's alive, it's right. That's not fair.
Oh, this is good.
I'm so confused.
Okay, can I tell you?
Yes, please
that,
do.
The reason I started asking you who died in these chapters is that I want to know up ahead who you think died in the chapters. And like literally I was thinking about the Red Wedding and whether you thought Arya died in those or not.
Oh, so you wanted me to be like, oh, Arya died. So you didn't have to be like, oh, I lied to you and said Arya died.
Yeah, because like if you were like, Arya did die, it's just like a concussion or something, then I would have been like, oh, okay. Then I would have gone along with that. But you were like, Arya died! And I was like, okay, there we go.
But that's not foolish of me. Kay, did you think Arya died? Wait, but you saw it, so that's not fair.
Yeah, no, I did not have the same experience.
Do people think that Arya died?
Yes, like first time readers, totally not spoiled. They do think it because it's supposed to be a misdirect.
Okay, like I could not have seen that.
I think like George R. R. Martin's thing is he wanted it to be really devastating at the Red Wedding, but then have like be like, oh my god, Arya survived, like a little bit of hope afterwards.
Okay. Wait. I feel like my universe has been changed. Cause reading The Red Wedding sent me through a personal character development. Like that was a thing. That was a moment for me too. Like I think that changed my brain chemistry.
That specific chapter is also why I started reading up next chapters to you. Like, I know we've been doing them since, like, the prologue, but I remember, like, either was reading the book itself or reading something about the book or listening to something like that. And that chapter came up and how, like, it's a surprise that Arya is alive. And I was like, wait, if it's a surprise that Arya is alive, I want her to react to that live. So I started...
Damn, you weren't kidding when we first started and you were like, I've planned things 6 years in advance.
Oh, I was not kidding.
You know what's so funny? That makes me think you could be the author of like a super long series. Because that's what they have to do, right? Like there's so many times where they're like, oh, I wrote that entire novel around the ending of the 6th. Like, do you know what I mean? Like there's so much they do. And I feel like that's kind of what you do in a different art form. Yes. Which is so funny.
It is an art.
It is an art.
And a science.
It's a fucking science. Fucking cruel science.
But it pays off.
Okay, well, if she's alive, I'm happy that she's alive. Okay, wait, that's good. Why am I, like, getting upset about Arya being alive?
Because your emotions were toyed with, which is totally fair thing to be upset about.
This is so manipulative. I don't like this. You really made me think that Arya was dead. And everyone was like, oh, Arya's dead. Oh, that sucks, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Are Robb and Catelyn actually dead?
I'm not telling you anything.
They must be, right? Because they were, like, killed.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh my god.
We know Robb had a bunch of quarrels, and then I think arrows shot through him, and then like pink cloak guy Bolton stepped up and either stabbed him or slit his throat.
So and that one's pretty certain.
And we also know somebody slit, because like they go with somebody comes up to Catelyn with a knife and she's like, oh, not my hair, but then they slit her throat too.
So those are pretty, like, they would have to be real.
Seem to be.
Shut up. Can you just agree with me?
Okay, fine. Those people died.
Are you just saying that?
No,
okay,
Arya is not dead.
Okay, you're confirming this? Okay, cool. So Arya's not dead, and they are dead. Okay, so Arya did not die in those in the post-Red Wedding chapter. Okay, so I don't have to hate the Hound. I can just hate the Hound.
Yeah, just regular amounts of hate.
Okay, I can just be annoyed by his behavior, but he can still have a good arc. Yeah, he has a redemption arc in the work. Wait, okay, cool. Arya's still alive and Joffrey's dead? This is so good. This is so good. Wait, and Tywin?
Do you see? It's good.
And Tywin is in shambles. His pride and joy is no longer his son. Like, emotional. Like, he's not putting up with his bullshit anymore. Basically disowned him before getting disowned. You know? And just, like, him being so mean and ableist and all that shit. Like, it's just, like, obviously I hate that Jaime doesn't have his arm, because that sucks. But it's just, like, you know, Tywin, that's what you get for being a terrible piece of shit. You know?
See, it's worth
it.
Good things.
Good things happen in these books. I feel like I can say that. Joffrey just died. Arya isn't dead.
I've been feeling so bad for like so long because it's really been so downhill.
Literally, ever since book 2 hit, we haven't had like a good thing happen. I feel like the last good thing to happen was dragons and Robb becoming king.
Robb being, yeah.
And we literally have not had a good thing since then. Okay, wait, this is good. Why am I upset that Arya's alive? Okay, Slay. Wow, we've been on this for 15 minutes. Okay, well, good to know, I guess. I was like, okay, this is, wow. Okay, so she's not dead. That's so, wait, her and Sansa can make up now. Because before it was like, she literally freaking dead. You know what's, this isn't funny, but it's funny weird. Sansa and Jon think that all of their siblings are dead, but 3 of them that they think are dead are literally alive.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But not, like, funny, just kind of, like, sad. Because they're all in hiding.
Yeah, like, we think all the Starks are dead, but really, most of them are still alive.
Yeah. It's the 3 oldest ones who are dead. The rest are chilling.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with that. This is okay.
Alright. Okay, we have emails and stuff to read.
Let's do it.
Alright, first up, I want to bring up a comment from Discord this week. From Alex. Alex on Discord pointed out that while the Red Wedding is the in-universe name, Purple Wedding is what the fans, like, call it. Like, no one calls Joffrey's wedding Purple Wedding in the books. It's just, like, the fans have named it that.
Oh. Okay.
So I wanted to clarify, because you were like, rainbow weddings? What are we gonna...
Oh my god. Okay.
People had fun theorizing about other colors, though. They were like, maybe Renly's was, like, green wedding, and Sansa's was, like, white wedding. Like,
please.
So, email number 1 is from Ola, and it's titled Reflections and Questions. Dear Harmouth and Nov. Wow, my name is in brackets. What's going on, Ola?
Oh, I love that. Yay!
Why don't you just say hi to me?
I love when people write my name first. It makes me feel very good. So you guys should do it more often.
Here's a question. I'm a little surprised that you think Lysa will so easily agree to marry Littlefinger. I remember her as a strong and independent woman who doesn't answer to anyone. My impression is that she tries to isolate herself, and I think she will be very, very, very... Ola, why are you doing this to me? It's very, V-E-R-Y, wary, W-A-R-Y, about Littlefinger suddenly showing up and proposing. You know, questioning his motivation and her benefit of the deal. What are your thoughts about this? It hasn't been discussed enough. Lots of love to you both. Regards, Ola.
Love you, Ola. Okay. For the listeners who don't know, Ola is my fellow unspoiled homie. So Ola, like, reads them with us every week, I'm pretty sure. I think, yeah, that's an interesting thought. I guess that makes sense. I think for me, my judgment over her choices clouds, like, my opinion of her clouds what I think she's gonna do. So I think you have a point. I think I just kind of assumed that she would give in because in my mind, she just, like, makes ridiculous choices. You know?
And it's a ridiculous choice to marry Littlefinger, so of course she's gonna do that.
Exactly. And I think also I was just thinking, like, you know, the whole thing of, like, your first love never dies. And the way it's described gives very much, like, he was her first love. So it's, like, in my mind, it's like, if she's gonna marry anyone, why wouldn't she marry her first love? Because, like, yes, she isolates herself and all of that thing, but also, like, Littlefinger is very good at being manipulative. And I feel like she has that soft spot for him, and he's very manipulative. He could easily take advantage of her choice to isolate herself and not really have a support network in that way. Because now even, like, her uncle's gone, who is really, like, kind of like her only remaining family there. So I think it would just be, like, I don't know, I just feel like with Littlefinger being who he is, and Lysa just being very, like, protective over her son and everything, I feel like it would be very easy to kind of manipulate her. But maybe that's just my judgment being clouded by my judgment of Lysa.
No, I think I agree with you. I think it is more likely given her history with Littlefinger. So the next email is from Gabriel. And it is titled The Best A Song of Ice and Fire podcast.
Aww!
That's a very high honor. Thank you.
That's so sweet.
And it is, it's dated August 5th, 2023 from Rio de Janeiro. So it says, hello, Nav. Hello, Harmouth. My name is Gabriel, and I'm a longtime listener from Brazil. A few years ago, I was searching for a podcast to practice my English, specifically for episodes about Plato's Symposium, when I found a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium.
Wait! So our name does have a usage?
Actually work to our advantage. See, Leah, it makes sense to have this name.
Yeah, someone looking for Plato Symposium found us. And everyone else looking for Plato Symposium who isn't a Song of Ice and Fire fan, so useful to them.
Just for the title, I already knew that it was obviously not a philosophy podcast, yet probably something even better. The thing is, by the time I'd already read all the books twice and was searching for some excuse to do it again. I think you hadn't reached half of the book when I joined, and like a fool, I thought I had Harmouth's willpower to read one chapter per episode, even knowing in advance everything that's going to happen. I still couldn't wait so long to read the next one. More than that, I've decided to take notes. 126 pages in Google Docs.
Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe it's not healthy anymore, but these books are so good. It's fine. We get it. The number of hours we've dedicated to this, Harmouth, is just...
It's scary.
Yeah. But these books are so good, and so are you. Besides the great and ambitious idea of keeping Harmouth unspoiled, how can someone be so strong? Like 5 question marks. The first thing that I think it's... Hang on. I want to address that. I think it's less you being strong and more you just being clueless.
Excuse me. No,
I'm joking.
The strength,
I'm joking. It started with that.
The strength is me not searching spoilers up. That's what is being referred to.
No, but I also think it started with you just like not knowing anything, and now you actually like now that you know stuff, you are actively putting in the effort to not be spoiled just randomly on the street kind of thing.
Yeah.
The first thing I've liked and makes your podcast, in my opinion, better than all the others, it's your friendship.
Oh, that's so sweet. Aw.
You see, Plato Symposium, it's a book about love, but the Greeks have different words for different kinds of love. For example, the love in Plato Symposium, it's eros, erotic / love or desire / love. There's another word for love, philia, like in the word philosophy. That means friendship / love. You feel philia for someone that is not just a friend, but a friend that you love. And it's clear for me that you two have this kind of loving friendship that only boosts the quality of your work and speeches. It's something beautiful that makes your podcast unique.
That's so
I'm gonna cry.
Also, I love that the word is philia, and it's like feelings, and like that's cute.
Yes, I guess. Oh, I guess I feel philia for you, whatever.
Philia, double F's in the chat.
The second or the third thing that makes your podcast better than all the others, it's that I'm almost 40 years old and live in a faraway country, so your worldview is completely different from mine. It's like I'm from the hot Dorne and you from the cold north. Different gods,
so
different
funny.
food, different weather, different culture.
That's so true. We definitely are like the Winterfell of the world. Like geographically and like weather and all that.
Yeah. But that is... I'm so glad that people from other worldviews are willing to consider our worldviews. It's because we can be so obnoxious sometimes. By we, I mean me, and I know.
Oh
okay?
my god. No, we're both obnoxious. It's okay.
Instead of saying no, we're not obnoxious, you're saying yeah, we're both obnoxious.
We definitely are obnoxious. But we're okay with it, which is important.
Through your eyes, I can see new perspectives and have new insights about the characters and events that I've already read, by now 3 times.
Oh my Lanta.
And now, when you finally reach the Red Wedding episode, I'm writing to repay the kindness and share some of my thoughts about the books and why I like them so much.
Yay!
When the TV show was launched, what everybody talked about was that the author killed Ned, and this was completely unexpected. Look, I'm far from criticizing anything here, but I saw The Lion King in cinema in 1994, so there's nothing new about killing the father of the main character,
Please.
especially if that father is some kind of feudal lord.
Please, that's so funny.
In my humble opinion, what really made A Song of Ice and Fire unprecedented, it's the Red Wedding. Not just for the deaths of Robb and Catelyn, but mainly because of the death of Jingle Bell. Think about it. Why did Catelyn...
And the death of Arya wasn't mentioned.
No.
That's so interesting.
I'm so glad I didn't read this email last time and kept it for this time.
But yeah, I guess it would have also just been like, oh, the death of Arya like wasn't at or because of the Red Wedding. Yeah.
I know. We would have totally disregarded it. Yeah.
But now it means something.
Think about it. Why did Catelyn kill him? What does that action make her? In every book, movie, or TV show that I ever heard about, when a good character takes someone innocent as hostage, it's always a bluff. Only truly someone truly evil would kill, as they say in Westeros, Lackwit, man-child that never harmed a fly, like the poor Aegon Frey. Catelyn didn't see him as a person anymore, just a way to hurt Walder Frey. I think that's true, but I think it was also her, like, grief, like, crescendoing into just, like, madness. Like, literally, she went mad.
Yeah. Because
I would say she went mad more than she went evil.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think so, too, because it's, like, I really do think, like, a person can only go through so much before it's, like, I really don't, like, no matter how good you are, how kind you are, how empathetic you are, I genuinely think you can only go through so much and get no support for it and keep getting more and more added before you just, like you said, like, you just like, how do you not?
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah.
I think it was just
that is the problem with those books, movies, and series, and it's where George R. R. Martin nailed it. They create truly evil characters, while in A Song of Ice and Fire, we see truly human characters. I agree with that statement. I definitely can relate with a character like Catelyn that passed many POV chapters lecturing everybody about the meaninglessness of revenge, endorsing Robb's decision to execute Rickard Stark, who took revenge for his son's death on two guys whose only crime was being Lannisters, judging Jaime for pushing Bran from the window, an action that probably saved the life of his sister and kids, and, after all, as her last act in life, she kills an innocent. Like Rickard, she wanted the blood of anyone who shared her son's murderer's last name. If Jaime was willing to kill an innocent to save his sons, Catelyn did it just because she couldn't save hers. Once again, I think hers was she wasn't thinking in terms of revenge, more just like, I got nothing left to live for kind of thing.
It was like her final, like, she knew, like, there was nothing she could do anymore. So it was like, almost just her final act. And it being killing someone didn't even register, you know? Or, like, didn't even mean anything to her.
Yeah, it was just because she already had Aegon, like, hostage, and then everything goes, like, totally down, like, totally left. Robb is dead, lying on the floor. And I don't know. Also, the judging Jaime for pushing Bran from the window, I'm sure she isn't happy about that, but I also remember us talking about how both Catelyn and Ned were like, oh, if they were my kids, what would I have done?
Yeah,
like,
no, she was weirdly empathetic about that.
Yeah. So, like you said, they're truly human characters, and they've got, like, all sorts of
shit going on,
flaws and emotions and stuff. Anyway, so Gabrielle continues, Catelyn, like most of us, real people in the real world, wasn't able to live through her own standards. She was not perfect, and that is what made her such a great character. There's a Bob Marley song that says, those who fight and run away live to fight another day. We already know that the original Red Wedding plan was to keep her captive. If she was still alive, maybe she could be reunited with Sansa in King's Landing, maybe even escape and help help against the Lannisters somehow. I think that is what a superhero would do. But Catelyn was not a superhero. She was a human, like a real human. When the world hurt her the most, the natural reaction was to hurt the world back. Can we judge her? What would we do in her place? That's a loaded question. I don't know. I think unless you're in that place, you really can't know what you would do in that place.
I agree. I think, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, most of the things she's gone through, like, I hope I don't have to go through a single one of them, you know? Like yeah. Your fiance dies, so you get married to some random other person who's his younger brother. Like, literally, starting from the beginning, like, this girl's life. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to judge.
Even Gabriel continues, I like to think that I would not kill Jingle Bell, but I really can't say for sure. The same goes for Jaime pushing Bran from the window. How far would we go if our loved ones' lives were on the line? Although in this chapter, we know Jaime doesn't really give a fuck about his kids. He really only cares about Cersei. Mm-hmm. That reminds me of another noteworthy moment of the books, Sandor Clegane's speech about the duel against Beric Dondarrion. For me, basically what he did was show that all knights are murderers. And the speech is like quoted here, a knight's a sword with a horse, the rest the vows and the sacred oils and the ladies' favors, their silk ribbons tied around the sword. Maybe the sword's prettier with ribbons hanging off it, but it will likely kill you just as dead. Well, bugger your ribbons and shove your swords up your asses. I am the same as you. The only difference is I don't lie about what I am. So kill me, but don't call me a murderer while you stand there telling each other that your shit don't stink. You hear me? And going back to the comments, people can create a nice story about why they kill, but in the end, killing is killing. The one who kills is always a killer. It don't matter. Call him a knight. In the end, cultural excuses to kill are nothing more than that. Excuses. That's true. After reading this part for the first time, I closed the book, thought for a while, and suddenly realized Ned was a murderer. Yeah, I think that was one of the first things we said, was like, even though they're doing like in the name of the king, you're still killing someone. Okay, I'm not a radical. Killing in a war against a tyrant king in self-defense or the defense of others can be excluded. But if we remember the first time we meet our beloved and honorable Ned R. Stark, he was killing someone and wasn't, sorry, it says Eddard, but I said Nedard because that's just how I read it now. He was killing someone and wasn't in the defense of anyone. But just because of a nice story called The King's Law, and the story says that it is just to kill a deserter from the Night's Watch. Well, people say deserters are dangerous, but if they are dangerous, it's because they have a death sentence, not the opposite. And that particular deserter had a good reason to run away as far as possible from the wall. I had to ask myself, is the difference between killing Jared and Micah that relevant? I do think that killing a kid is worse than an adult, but killing an adult is still murder, right? Ned was no better than the Hound.
I don't know if I would say Ned was no better than the Hound.
I think there are other ways in which Ned was better than the Hound.
I think in terms of killing, like, they both killed. So, like I do see your argument of, like, reiterating the Hound's argument of, like, we're all just killing. Like, it's killing just the same. Yeah, but for sure. Ned was definitely a better person, like, objectively.
Note that I'm not trying to use my 2023 Planet Earth moral ideals to see things this way. I am using Sandor Clegane's speech in his point of view. Killing someone because of the will of a king that created a law thousands of years ago is the same thing as killing someone because of the will of his prince. I can't argue with his logic. Ned's honor is just a silk ribbon on a sword. Yeah, then it's everybody's honor is a silk ribbon on a sword. Yeah. Like, especially in this book. Is there a single person who hasn't killed anyone?
Yeah, all these freaking royals, man. Also, I don't know. I always think, I just have never agreed with the idea that killing a kid is worse than killing an adult. Like, I just don't subscribe to that at all. Like, to me, like, I just don't understand when people say that, oh, like, kids are like the face of it. I'm just like, still human, same thing. So I just don't really
equally bad.
Yeah, I just don't really agree with that part.
That's not I do think, like, the Hound killing Micah, he can justify it just as easily as Ned can justify killing a deserter. I do agree with that part, but I don't think it has to do with, like, one's a kid and one's an adult.
I think it's just like, oh, they're both by, the king's command, so.
Yeah. Because of that speech, Sandor Clegane reached the place of my favorite not knight of the series, tied with Brienne of Tarth, and just a little bit ahead of the third place, Duncan the Tall.
Oh, Yeah.
Talking about Brienne, she is another great character. Her humanity, in a way, reminds me of Catelyn. She is fast to apply to others the same kind of prejudice that she suffers herself. In Brienne's point of view, all women are damsels in distress. Is that true? I don't know about that. Probably what I like most is the fact that she loved Renly, a guy that, besides treating her kindly that one time, showed absolutely none of the qualities that she often admires in other men. He was not brave, humble, or a fighter. On the contrary, Renly had some characteristics that she often despised, like the love for alcohol, luxury, and intrigue. Do we know she despises those things?
I don't know.
Cite your sources, Gabriel.
I honestly don't remember much from when we first met her.
Like, I know she's not a fan of Jaime and his, like, arrogance. Yeah. Like, but I feel like that's different from a hatred for
like those specific
alcohol,
things.
Luxury, and intrigue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember, to be honest.
She reminds me of Duncan the Tall, thick as a castle wall, but I prefer Brienne. It's, at least in my opinion, it's the contradictions in her personality that make Brienne so relatable, so real, so human. Don't we all know someone like that? Aren't we all that? That's me adding. Another thing, usually in books, movies, etc., women fighters are smarter than most men and rely on speed over brute force. Definitely not Brienne's case. She wins against dumb and strong men being even dumber and stronger. I gotta say, I don't like we're trying to avoid the use of that word. So I'm gonna say she wins against stupid and strong men being even stupider and stronger. I don't know if she's stupid. Like Jaime said, she's not the most clever. Like, she's not conniving, but she's not stupid. Okay, so instead, let me talk about my by far favorite character, Sir Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight. That I can get behind 100%. I don't know who is the prince that was promised. I don't know who will be king or queen of Westeros, but not like Jon Snow. I know something.
Damn. Okay. Please.
Davos is in fact the true hero of the story. He is the one willing to sacrifice himself for what he thinks is right again and again. Loyal to the bone, not to what Stannis wants, but to what Stannis needs. Has the humility of knowing his own limits and the arrogance to cross those and speak hard truths to his king. At the same time, a mediocre man, not particularly smart, strong, charismatic, or any other quality that we're used to seeing in heroes. Like Catelyn and Brienne, his flaws make him a believable human character. Sadly, again, there's not much to say without spoilers. Okay, don't say it. What I can say is, because of him, I feel obliged to follow the one and true King of Westeros, King of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm, Stannis Baratheon. Stannis of House Baratheon, the first of his name. Like Davos, I love Stannis, but totally understand why so many people don't share these feelings. It was a deliberate decision of George R. R. Martin himself. The major flaw of Stannis' character is his lack of charisma. That's why Renly decided to declare himself king. Nobody likes Stannis or wants him on the Iron Throne, neither in Westeros nor on planet Earth. How can we cheer for someone without charisma? Be it in Brazil, Canada, or any other democracy, we choose our leaders through popularity contests. It's easier for us to contemplate an incompetent leader that is loved by some and hated by others than a competent one that is equally and reasonably disliked by all. That is true. Like, yeah.
No, literally just yesterday at work, my coworker, I wasn't engaging in this conversation because for other reasons, but my coworkers were like, they were just going on and on about like, oh yeah, like Justin Trudeau, like yeah, like he was charming and he won whatever, but he just comes across so fake. Like, I kind of liked, like, they were saying nothing about they were like, oh yeah, Stephen Harper just seemed like a down-to-earth kind of guy, and I was like, you're saying nothing about, like, those are completely different political parties with completely different ideals, and you're saying, oh, I liked the way this guy talked versus this guy seemed fake. It was just a very interesting conversation to be having, but it was literally that. They were just like, oh, you know, I liked him. And it was like, wait, why did you like him? Oh, because he was a good public speaker. I just kind of watched the debates and he talked really well. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I don't know. Like, I'm not passing judgment. It was just very interesting.
I wonder how many of our listeners are going to get any of the political references because they're like Canadian political figures, and people are like, Stephen Harper, who?
Yeah.
Gabriel continues, Stannis is a middle child syndrome textbook case. For all his life, he never did what he wanted to do, but what he thought he was supposed to do. In the beginning of the books, he is, for the first time, fighting for something for himself. Maybe I'm a bit biased because of my Davos feelings. The fact is, I do believe Stannis is not driven by a lust for power, but a feeling of unwanted duty. Almost like it is a sacrifice. Yeah, dude, but just like, don't sacrifice. Okay, that is being dismissive. I know, I'm sorry, but you know our feelings. Very Azor Ahaian, right? Unfortunately, I actually don't believe that Melisandre is right about that. Dany and Jon are clearly the best candidates for the Messiah job. Dany, if dragons can be considered Lightbringer, and Jon, if R plus L equals J is true. So my vote goes for Dany, given that I've been waiting for answers since 2013 when I finished the 5th book for the first time. So George R. R. Martin better create some great surprises, like keeping John Ned's Bastard with Ashara Dane or someone else.
Oh my god.
Because like everybody's like, that's obviously the thing.
Yeah.
Stannis can't be a Azor Ahai anyway, since Melisandre is trying to fulfill a prophecy, and this never works. I noted 2 ways of dealing with prophecies. When people know about the future and want to do something about it, 1, people who try to fulfill them fail, usually with dark consequences. 2, people who try to avoid them fulfill them, usually with dark consequences too. So since Melisandre is actively trying to create the conditions to fulfill prophecy, she will fail. Well, hope for more books and dark consequences. Well, I'll keep enjoying Harmouth, live through the ones I already know. Thank you for the great show. Oh, and my dog thanks too. Every time I get a new episode, he gets a longer walk in the park. Oh,
that's so
I didn't even think about stuff like that. That's so cute.
That's so cute. Oh.
Farewell, my friends. Talk to you later. Gabriel.
Oh my god, thank you, Gabriel.
And there's a few PSs. PS, sorry for my poor English. It was not poor at all. It was great. PS2, I vote against the Heretic TV show. See, Harmouth, there's people who don't want us to cover it.
No.
PS3, September 5th. Yes, it took a whole month to send this email after writing it. That's okay. Totally fair. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And it's nice to hear that we have a listener from Brazil. All right, speaking of international listeners, the next email is from Dave. Let me see if they signed. Yeah, it's signed Dave Shaw, and it's titled Harmouth's Red Wedding Reaction Request. I know I'm a bit late, and some shameless self-promotion. Dear Nav and Harmouth, I am Dave, a 15-year-old teenager from India who is a massive fan of A Song of Ice and Fire and an equally massive fan of your podcast. I started listening to you guys in COVID, and it's all because of my crush. She was already a Song of Ice and Fire geek after finishing the first book, and just to impress her, I, who was already and read many series including Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, Robert Langdon, etc., started the series. In the start of the series, I was also like Harmouth and wasn't able to get shit together and making my own crackhead predictions to which my crush laughed. Aww. So my crush recommended this pod as she thought that this was the best non-spoiler A Song of Ice and Fire pod.
That is
but
so
as time
cute. I can't get over that. That's adorable.
People bonding over our podcast.
Yeah, we're bringing people together. That's so cute.
But as time progressed, I, with my Sonic the Hedgehog reading, caught up to my crush who was on the ending of A Clash of Kings. She was impressed, and then we sort of did our own discussions after reading 2 to 4 chapters. Now, for completing the series and sincerely waiting for the 6th book, me and my crush still listen to your podcast and have romantic and fun moments of laughter when Harmouth makes a correct prediction by mistake and then says it's not sensible and would never happen.
Oh my god. Wait, that's so cute. Okay, this is so cute.
See? Your pain is worth it.
My pain is worth it because honestly, you guys, not gonna lie, like in real life, I'm a great matchmaker. Like I have had so many successful things. Like I'm so good at this, and I love that I can do it without trying to. Like that's such an ego boost.
All right. Now I wanted to share my red wedding emotions right after that episode, but with 7 hours school and 5 hours tuition on a daily basis and just getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep daily, it's hard to find time to write an email. That's why this one's short too. I apologize for that. But yeah, I had been sort of spoiled on the red wedding by my crush. I know. I have never hated her more. Actually, after the Arya chapter, she got excited, forgot our 4 chapter at a time thing, and overread. Then she was like, "Do you know all the Starks die?" And at first I thought it was a joke, but my crush never joked about shit like this. And I went from day 1 of thinking it was a joke and 1 week of panicking and not reading.
Oh, oh no.
Then my crush apologized and told me to read them. Her wish was my command, so I read them. Even though I knew what was going to happen, I was a bit angry when the Reigns of Castamere part came on, since it's one of my favorite songs. Anyway, I was more into the side of people that appreciated the literature. The blank, 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 blank.
What?
I'm blanking stuff out.
Okay, sad.
Because spoilers.
Okay.
Anyways, after listening to the Red Wedding episode, I really came to odds with reality and came to realize how devastating it was for many fans. Thanks for opening my eyes. So yeah, that's all. I have a million things I want to tell. Not to sound arrogant, just don't get enough time. A very massive fan of your pod and hope that you deliver another 100 episodes like this. Congrats on the 100, by the way. I wish I could write more emails, which are longer than this one in the near future. A Pop Culture Symposium fan, Dave Shaw.
Oh, thank you, Dave.
Okay, there's a addendum to this. Slight problem. I forgot to mention one slight thing. Sorry for the inconvenience, but my crush is a big fan of a Game of Thrones songs, and Harmouth said she likes music. So basically, the gist of it is Dave has created a playlist of all the Game of Thrones songs on Spotify, and you can search up Dave's name and it'll come up. But Harmouth, you cannot do that because it has songs from like all spoilers, like future seasons and all that stuff. So
sad.
Yeah, sorry. But if anybody else is interested, look it up. All right, we're on to our final email of the day. Okay, this one is from Elliot. So it says, "Hi, Nav and Harmouth. It's Elliot, he, him, from Brest, France again. I just listened to your episode about the Purple Wedding, and I find it absolutely hilarious that Harmouth doesn't give a shit that the incest turd is dead. When I finished the chapter, I was so happy. That genetically deficient twat had it coming for him. I hated him so much. He is exactly the sort of low-level waste of a human that you can find in everyday life. However, this time he was a king. Harsh but fair, I guess."
Oh my gosh. I did not see that coming. Oh my gosh.
Every action that he did would annoy me. Moreover, what Nev didn't say is that the Purple Wedding is called that because the little piece of shit's face turns purple as he chokes to death. Yeah. That's the fan reason. Ironically enough, purple is the color of royalty, so he truly died with the colors of a king. So hooray. And then there's a sentence after that I don't want to read because it's too gross.
Okay.
Not like it's gross, but I just don't want to say it. Now on to questions and also I think it's kind of spoilery. Now on to questions which are for the both of you. As you may have realized, most weddings in A Song of Ice and Fire end in death. So what wedding do you want to happen that ends in death? Who would it be? Who would be invited? You can be like Littlefinger and orchestrate a whole thing. How would they die? So many questions.
Arya and that one Frey guy are gonna get married, and we're gonna kill Walder Frey, and we're gonna kill Tywin, and we're gonna kill... Yeah, that's it. Those are the important ones.
Okay. I like it. Okay, furthermore, Harmouth, would you say that you want Dany and Jon to join You say you want Danny and John to join to girl boss together. So who would be your dream team? It could have been an Avengers sort of team of people who could, who would it be? Like if you had Avengers in Westeros.
Okay. Danny, John, Jaime, and Brienne, and Davos. And Tyrion.
Did you say Arya?
Yeah. Or no, I didn't.
Okay, well,
I
Arya.
can't have too many people in there. I kept adding people.
And the one you would take out is Arya, the girl just come back from death.
Hey, I need to make sure she's actually alive.
Arya, the girl who lived.
I need to just make sure I need to make sure she's solidly alive
before you recruit her. Got it. Okay, also, on to a more depressing note. Which character would you guys be in A Song of Ice and Fire? You can't say no one. All these characters have a lot of trauma, but that's what makes them interesting.
I think that, unfortunately, I would be, like, Sansa.
I don't think that's unfortunate. I think that's just you.
Yeah, but, like, the thing is, I wouldn't be Sansa because it's like, oh, I'm so pretty and I already know how to say the right thing. Like, it's not for any of the good reasons. I'd be Sansa because I trust people too quickly and, I'm very much like, oh, songs. Yeah, not songs,
Ooh,
but...
I would want to be Yara because she is...
Who is that?
Great. Oh, fuck. I want to be Asha.
Did you just spoil me?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yara?
I got confused. No, it's because in the show they name her Yara because Asha is too close to Osha.
Oh.
So it's literally the same character, but I was recently on A Game of Thrones and so
no, it's okay. That's not really a spoiler.
So Asha, I want to be Asha.
Okay.
Because she's great.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I hope you like the questions, and it's now time to celebrate because the child that should have been aborted is dead. Now, I don't agree with that statement, Elliot. I feel like that implies that he was born evil.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where I believe that he turned evil.
Yeah.
So I'll make it time to celebrate because the child that should have been better conditioned and better parented is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, party emoji, party emoji, party emoji. P.S. As you can see, I despise Joffrey.
Oh, really? I couldn't tell. That's so funny. I love that because I feel like, yes, we hated Joffrey, but we've never been like, I don't know if we're, we're always just like, fuck Joffrey. So it was just funny to see a lot of Joffrey insults.
Yeah, it's the kind of shit we have to say for Jorah.
Yeah,
whatever.
Basically, like we've never been that just like intense about our Joffrey hatred. But maybe we should have been. I don't know. He's dead, so who cares?
Yeah.
He did.
Anyway.
Thank you, Elliot.
We're going to wrap this up. Follow us on Instagram at Pop Culture Symposium. Join the Discord. Send us emails. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.